Good morning. It almost feels wrong to talk this loud right now because it's so quiet here. It's 10:30 a.m. and I decided to go out to the summer house on a very cold October day. We've already been getting minus Celsius degrees, which for those who don't know, who might be watching this from America, means that if it's below zero, it's the freezing point. And as you can see in the grass, there's frost, and it's so pretty. I can't believe that this big tree right here already has lost all of its leaves. But I think it's because it's simply windier out here on the countryside. And this is quite fascinating. This tree has apples on it right now. I've never seen apples on this tree. I only see the apples on those trees. But maybe these are summer trees and these are fall trees. It's so interesting on the fall because if you just stand here silent, you can hear the leaves letting go of the trees. For those who don't know, my grandparents owned this summer house, which is a very old summer house. It was given to them by my grandmother's father, who owned a big farm over there. And on the other side of this tiny little mountain that is right now covered in trees and bushes, my grandmother's sister got to inherit the other summer house. We weren't able to keep this house when my grandfather died, but luckily it's still in the family. Our relatives on this side of the mountain were able to take over, so it's still in the family, technically. So I can come here once in a while and enjoy it. There's just something very special about being in a place where you know that your ancestors have been living and working and growing their families. I just know that all this area over here, all this land behind me and around me is covered in farms where my relatives have lived. Oh, that's an interesting bird. What kind of bird is that? I don't even know. You hear that bird? I wonder what bird that is. Anyways, let's take a little walk, shall we? It smells extra good right now because it smells like someone's barbecuing or burning leaves, maybe. I am no mushroom expert by any means. My goal today is actually to find chanterelles. We call them kantareller in Swedish, and they're the forest gold. Ooh, leaves falling everywhere. They're very common in Sweden at this time of year, and I haven't picked any mushrooms at all in years, so I think it's about time. Even the water has started to freeze. I'm not even inside of the forest yet, and it already smells like mushrooms, and I already see mushrooms. It's hard to see because there's so many yellow leaves on the ground, so how do I spot the chanterelles? cold and it's windy. You can't find mushrooms. Come on. Where are they? Did they all die from the frost? I don't think so, because I googled and it said that chanterelles actually can survive the first frost. If I could just find one, I'd be excited, but usually if you find one, find a billion. Come on. I can see what this becomes like an obsessive thing for mushroom pickers, because once you get started, it's kind of like a, where are they? And then eventually it becomes like a challenge, like I'll find them. I guess I'll give up. It's okay though. It was still nice to walk around here. I love being out by the summer house during fall. I was almost never out by the summer house during fall, and definitely not winter time as a kid. But now as an adult, I love it. It's just a different vibe, different nature, of course. At some point, I want to go out here during winter time when it's snowing. I've only seen pictures of that because it's not very common, obviously, that you go to the summer house in the middle of the winter. Okay, bye forest. That's a round mushroom. I wonder if it's one of those smoke mushrooms that smokes, like, it's like a puff of smoke coming out when you stomp on them. Let's try. It is! See that? Too cool. Luckily for me, I brought a picnic because it was the cinnamon bun day yesterday in Sweden. That was bad. I did not buy any, I was about to say mushrooms. Got mushrooms on my brain now, but I didn't buy any cinnamon buns, but my parents did. So how do I get up here? This was easy as pie when I was a kid. And I'm assuming this big rock here is slippery and wet. Wish me luck. I can do it. I can do it. Look at me go. Thank you to my new boots that are very sturdy. Oh, okay. Oh, I made it. Made it. Made it to the top. It's so pretty here. We used to invite our relatives and neighbors, usually the older generation, up onto this mountain and have picnics with them, or fika as we call it in Sweden, which is when you have coffee and a cookie or a pastry or something like that. This is life. Calm, quiet, sunny, chilly, wonderful countryside. Beautiful. I love that it says long live fika on these. Look, they even got pink sprinkles on them. And my gingerbread cake. It's a soft gingerbread cake. If you've never had that, you're missing out. They sometimes put lingonberries in here too. It just tastes really good with it, but this tastes like Christmas to me. So if you haven't tried it, you should. Before I go home, I'm gonna walk to the church, to the family graves, pay them a little visit before I get on the bus and leave. It's always nice to walk on this road up to the church. It's very nostalgic. My grandmother always took me and my sister up here to put flowers on the graves, make sure that they look nice, pick flowers along the way and said hello to neighbors. It's always so easy and peaceful to walk here because there are almost no cars at all. I gotta hurry a bit because the bus will be here soon, but I picked a tiny little cute bouquet cute little bouquet of wildflowers, because that's what we usually did when we walked to the church. Although I didn't think I would find any flowers today, but there's some left. It looks so fallish and pretty over there. It's not the most beautiful bouquet, but it'll do. It's picked with the heart. Stand here and just breathe for a little bit before the bus arrives. I'll never get tired of this place.